Hello there, everybody out in CrossFit Los Angeles land. I am with a former Ranger. He's the producer of a new TV show called Live to Tell on the History Channel. And I'm most excited because he is CrossFit Los Angeles' new Olympic lifting coach. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Mr. Mike Baumgarten. Mike, welcome to the staff, the team, and to the gym.
Thank you. Thank you. It's happy to be here.
So Mike is incredibly humble, despite the awesome stuff that I just listed. And I know some of you are probably kind of going, all right, well, let's first just talk about this Ranger stuff, which I'm sure we could spend about 20, 30, 40 minutes, maybe 6 hours talking about, maybe 7 days.
I hope not.
Kind of getting updated on all the sort of adventures he was up to over in the Middle East. But Mike, how long were you a Ranger?
So I was a Ranger for 10 years. I joined the Army a couple weeks after graduating high school in 2001. And then did that till 2013 when I got out. I got lucky enough to have a couple different jobs while I was doing that, to include my last 2 years in, where I got stationed in San Diego as an instructor for Naval Special Warfare, which was a pretty unique experience.
Right.
So I getting some cool friends from different units from that time.
Right. And is that how you met one of our gym members, Mark Samos?
Yeah. So I met Mark through
Mark is a Navy SEAL. If you don't know, Mark's a Navy SEAL who's one of the members here.
Believe it or not, Rangers and SEALs do get along. So I met Mark through a buddy of mine who I was an instructor with during my time there.
Right.
Who actually all three of us made this show. In fact, it was their idea to make the show, period. And I got lucky enough to get brought on.
So you're now currently taking those experiences as a Ranger, as an instructor, and somebody who is overlapped between the Ranger world, the SEAL world, and the military world to create this television show that you're co-producing with a guy who's a little bit experienced by the name of Pete Berg, yeah?
Yeah, so absolutely.
That's pretty cool. Pete, one of the more notable producers in all of TV, partnering with you to make the show. I'm just curious about that. How's that been so far?
It's been great. Pete had kind of oversight in a way during all this stuff, even though it was a lot of delegation. So Mark and Ray and myself, and the great crew that we had, and the great directors and stuff, ran the show. But it wouldn't be. Wherever it's headed, we got the Pete Berg bump, I suppose, and we just came off a really crazy week of doing media stuff.
Right.
And that was all Pete, just doing it because he believes in us, and he believes in the show, and he's a huge supporter of veterans and the military. And it's good to have somebody like that that's willing to put themselves out there,
right,
so that we can share these stories with the country. And,
right.
It's important to do that.
Right. So by the time this video comes out, the show will be premiering on the History Channel. If you're coming to this video a little bit later, it premieres January
10th.
January 10th.
January 10th, today.
Today, okay.
Tonight at 10 p.m. Yeah.
10 p.m. And then here's the thing. Along the way, you had found CrossFit, and which a lot of Rangers and SEALs have sort of practiced through the mid-2000s as it got very popular, and it was principally used on bases as a training methodology. And then through that, you fell in love with weightlifting, and then you helped to start a very successful weightlifting club down at Outlier CrossFit. And so a lot of the guys who have influenced your sort of methodology for weightlifting are guys that I've always respected and admired. Foreman, Everett, Mike Bergner. I mean, these are guys who are sort of Southern California legends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you've sort of understood that, and now you concurrently train here at CrossFit Los Angeles, and also one of my good friend and mentors of Olympic weightlifting, Sean Waxman. So tell me about that process for you getting into this love affair you have with Olympic weightlifting.
Yeah, I started CrossFitting around 2008, 2009. I actually was introduced to me by one of my platoon sergeants who was huge into it. In fact, and I kind of used to laugh at him because all I wanted to do was prison lift and be really big and kind of scary and all that stuff. And then I got into that and really liked the camaraderie and and the daily test that it kind of brings to you,
Right.
and the fact that it's a hard workout, and some of the stuff you do overseas is taxing on that level. Not to say that it all is, but then I also would we would bring my guys, I would bring my squad to like some of the local, in fact, CrossFit High Performance in Savannah, Georgia was the first CrossFit gym I ever went to, and it was really nice to bring some of my guys, bring my squad there, or if I was just going by myself after work, to just kind of be around non-ranger types. And work out together, and it was always a really great supportive community, right off the bat. Did that for a few years. Ended up in San Diego coaching an Outlier CrossFit, but slowly kind of just really started to get more out of weightlifting than I was at a CrossFit, and really started to become mildly obsessed with it.
Right.
In fact, the first book, when I started reading this stuff, I was like, I want to do Olympic weightlifting. Was Greg Everett's book. That was the very first book I ever read.
Yeah.
And it's a great book.
It's a great book.
I recommend that if anyone just wants to learn about lifting or just wants to dabble, anything, even if you're just CrossFitting and you want to just have a better understanding of it, that is a great book to pick up. And it kind of took off from there, and myself and one of the former owners of Outlier decided, hey, we're going to do this weightlifting thing only. Mm-hmm. We set aside some space in the gym. And it just started as me and him lifting together. Right. That was the beginning until it started to take off. We slowly built more platforms. We started with 3. We have 9 there now. Great equipment, great bars. And we got lucky enough to get a guy named Mike Gray, who is a great friends with Greg Everett, long time old school burger guy. One of the few people left that can truly say that Mike Berger was their coach.
Yeah.
In the truest sense.
Right.
His name is up on the whiteboard in the back of that garage. So you probably know what that is.
Yeah.
Those guys are the ones you want to look to.
Right.
And he's my coach and mentor and a great dude. But that's old school weightlifting.
Right.
And it's rough. It's like sandpaper, man.
Yeah.
It's not butter. It's sandpaper, and you got to have. And that's why I was drawn to it, because it had that very tough. You earned everything every single day. Nothing was given to you. And so it reminded me, even as I got out of the military, of being in that ranger community. And so that's why I was drawn to it. It's hard. It takes a lot out of you every day to get on that grind. And I really don't see myself doing anything else.
Right.
I'll do it till I break.
So one of the things that Mike has done is turn this love affair into also becoming a competitive Olympic weightlifter. So recently you competed in the U.S. Open, and so that's pretty accomplished, given that how much people weightlift around here.
Sure.
So what did you lift at to qualify for the U.S. Open?
So this year, but last year you had the totals. They actually lowered them. Mm-hmm. So when we found out those totals, myself and my coach, who's in his 40s, who lifts as a senior, which is always a great example to me, and very few excuses. But they lowered the totals down for all the weight classes, so it put it within arm's reach. Even though I still had to put on some kilos to my total.
Right.
It was realistic and doable. So we came with a good plan, a great program, and trained for it, and ended up hitting the bare minimum of qualifying. It's not like I blew it away or anything.
Yeah.
I qualified and said, this is the year if I don't ever get to go ever again,
right?
Because I'm not very good at this stuff. I just try hard, and that was the year to go. And so I went to the American Open in December. Didn't do stellar. Pretty much basically bombed out.
Yeah.
But I don't regret that experience. That walking out onto the big stage, to a national meet. It's really hard to describe, but it's a really cool feeling. Regardless of how you perform, that's weightlifting. And
Right.
any given day could be the worst day of lifting you've ever had for no explicable reason.
Right.
And it's a great experience.
So this is what we're going to do. Mike is very experienced now as a coach, has been coaching for several years, and has been tutored by some of the very best in Southern California, and definitely practices what he preaches. We've had many conversations about our philosophies here at CrossFit Los Angeles, and one of the things that we've been really trying to dial in to is how do we really hone in on people's specific things that they need to enhance their Olympic weightlifting. So Mike is going to help us evolve and continue to evolve our understanding, our intellectual understanding of the lifts, but then also offer his services as a personal trainer. So if you're interested in developing your Olympic weightlifting and want an expert eye on you, somebody to work with you hand in hand in conjunction with our programming, that's what Mike is being brought in to do. And so it's intended to complement the overall program here at the gym. And then over time, if things develop and we develop like some broader interest, it might be something that looks like something that he's already created in the past, which is a club. That's to be seen, but right now we have somebody who is a sincere, caring, expert coach who can deliver development on your Olympic lifts. So if you're interested in hiring Mike, very simple, just call the gym or email the gym, and we will set you up with an appointment to do so. And I know I'm personally going to be working with Mike to work on my lifts because mine can use a lot of work, and he's already working with one of my personal clients to help them as well. So just know that that resource is available, assuming it's of interest to you. We're also doing it so that Mike can work with 2 people at a time as well, in small private packages. So that's about it. Give the gym a call. Pull me aside, email the gym specifically, and we can set you up with some sessions with Mike. Mike, thank you for A, your service, B, for producing TV content that I'm interested in watching, and C, joining our team here across Los Angeles.
I appreciate it. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Totally. Cheers, man. Check out this guy. He's a badass. He is way too humble, which is kind of like the theme of our coaching staff. I'm trying to get them to kind of go, I'm badass, and you know it, but they don't really do that. They're just humble people. Anyway, he fits in here even with his tattoos and his crazy experiences as a ringer. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Peace.